There we go. Can y'all see me now? Let me know. Can everybody see me? All right. Let's see. I see we got VA Beach. We got Connecticut. Let's give people a chance to come on all platforms. By the way, y'all, we're streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So if you're watching, and this is your first time seeing me, type a one, and then follow or subscribe where you're at, so you can actually join this community because anybody will tell you that we are very committed over here to making sure you save thousands of dollars, save all the money you should be saving on any car you get. So and shout out to the sharers. Welcome. I see the ones. Welcome to the people who are checking in for the first time. So we're gonna be doing a lot of Q&A. I want y'all to really get your questions ready. If you are shopping for a car, get your questions ready. Tag a friend, hit the share button, and let's light up TikTok with the like so we can make sure that we letting people know. I see we got about 300-400 people between all the platforms. We actually got about 500 people right now. So let's get going. Um, by the way, if you don't know, my new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, is now officially launched. So I'm excited about that. You can get it anytime while you're watching for 75% off by going to my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio. You got 75% off for I believe 30 minutes. And if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, let me put up the banner so that you guys can get yours. You could go to deshonesbook.com, or you can scan the QR code. All right, so let's get to it. Do we wait till the election to buy a car? I wouldn't. You know what? I would be in the market early. There's two very important dates y'all have to remember when you're car shopping. Two very important dates. And this will help you to not procrastinate, but it'll also help you not to rush. Your first date is the as soon as date. Remember that. What is the as soon as date? That's the soonest you could buy a car. That's the soonest you can accept a deal. We call this the as soon as date. So if you are watching, if you're watching and you're like, Deshone, I could buy a car tomorrow. There's nothing stopping me. Then that means your as soon as date is tomorrow. Now you might be saying, Deshone, I'm waiting for my taxes. I'm waiting for my taxes to come. I want to have some money down. Then your as soon as date will be when your taxes come. See, your as soon as date is always when you are able to accept the deal. Now, second date is your no later than date. That is your deadline. That is I can't have a car later than this date. Now, some of you, that could be the same day. But most times you have a week. Like, okay, Deshone, I could get a car today, and my no later than date is like the end of this month because I'm in a rental right now. The point is, the difference between those two dates is your leverage. I've had people who I help shop, and when I show them these two dates, they might have 3 months in between. Deshone, I could get a car now, or I could wait up till June 1st when I retire. Whatever. That means that's your leverage. That's your time for watching the market because your deals change, price trends change. Whether you're shopping new car, used car, lease, the price is going to change monthly. You're going to see, and it's very important that you have these two dates so that you know, all right, and you also pay attention whenever you find a car that you like and you're ready to actually get an offer on it. We always let the dealer know, I can accept the deal today, but I'm not I don't need to accept the deal until, and then you tell them you're no later than date. We do all of this by email, by the way. But if you're going to do it verbally, that's fine too. But it's very important because when you tell them you're no later than date, now they see you're not desperate. Now they see, oh, if I have a car coming next week, oh, I got this car coming in the way you want it, but it won't be here until a month from now. We're in, it won't be here for another 30 days. Is that okay? This is one of the benefits of not rushing. Now, if you're an emergency, I understand. But when you ask, should we wait until the election to buy a car? I'm telling you that you should be using all your time in between those windows to shop the market, look at offers, say no to bad offers, and accept good offers. That's the name of the game. That's leverage. What about leasing cars? Somebody said on TikTok. I see we lighting up the likes on TikTok. I appreciate it. Could everybody who shares If you are a sharer, I know not everybody's a sharer. If you are, could everybody share this broadcast with somebody? Tag somebody or hit that share button. I appreciate it. Shout out to the sharers. I see you, B. Lower. Thank you for sharing. What about leasing cars? Is that a good idea? Absolutely, y'all. Listen, the biggest thing that has been taught the wrong way is that leasing cars is the most expensive way to own a car. It's a lie. If you are not keeping a car more than 8 years, you are losing thousands of dollars not leasing. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna put up on the screen right here. This is Taupe. Taupe, she leased a BMW. You can see right here that the MSRP of the BMW was $54,750. Now, just in case y'all are not aware of how much a payment would be on a $54,000, who remembers what I said? Every $5,000 on a loan is how much per month? Let me see who's seen that video. Who remembers? Every $5,000 on a loan is how much per month? Every $5,000 you borrow is that $100 a month. Exactly. Every $5,000. I don't even know if I asked the question right. Every $5,000 is $100 a month on a 5-year loan. So when you look at a car and you're talking about 50,000, that's $1,000 a month payment, y'all, for 5 years. That's $1,000. So there are people driving the same BMW that Taupe right here is driving, that I'm showing on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and they're paying $1,000 a month. She's paying $690. So when we talk about leasing, if you know how to get great lease deals, because great lease deals are not advertised, pay no attention to these commercials that y'all see that say, come lease this car for, $490 a month with $4,200 do it signing. No, all of that stuff you're going to learn the more you stick around, the more you hang around here, like the more you learn from me. We don't believe marketing, y'all. They don't advertise great deals. So that's the whole thing. Leasing is for people who don't keep their cars. If you do not keep your cars more than 8 years, you are losing thousands not leasing cars. Because the person who leases and gets great lease deals, you're just going to pay so you're going to pay so little of a payment compared to the car you're buying. So like I said, that person who's Taupe is paying $690, there's another person paying $1,000 a month. There's another person paying $1,100 a month. There's another person paying $950 a month. She's paying $690. It's no comparison. So you got to know when leasing is right for you. That's if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, and you have to know how to get great lease deals. And that comes through competitive bids, multiple offers, y'all. When you start using bids, and I want you to use this, your next car who's shopping for a car now or in the next 12 months? Type me in the comments. Let me get a clear indicator. I want you using, let me put the banner back up for the book. All of you who don't know, my new book is 75% off for a few minutes while you're here. While you're watching, you can get it for $75. It's a digital book. You can download it and start using it immediately. So all of you who are saying me, this is what I need you to know. I need you to know that your next purchase needs to be, if you truly want to save money and you truly want to have peace of mind and a guarantee that you paid less than anyone, you must use bids. You must step out of this one-to-one, and you must start shopping multiple dealers against each other. And that's what when you see how much money you're going to save doing this, you'll never go back to the whole way. That is what I call the new way. And you must do that to reveal the true saving, the rebate. Some of you don't know that there's rebates that are unadvertised that you'll never know about. There's sometimes people may give you some of the rebate, or they might give you none of it, or you might not know about it. Sometimes you can qualify for conquest rebate depending on what car you have. Oh, listen, this is important. I want to give y'all real quick, and then we're going to keep the Q&A moving, what a dealer must have to give you an offer online. I want y'all to remember this. If it's in the book, but I want you to remember this, because half the time we can't get a quote because we're not giving the dealer everything they need to give us a quote. So here are the things we must have to get a quote online. We must have our zip code. The dealer must have our zip code because they can't give us a quote including tax. Must have our zip code. Must have what we do for a living. Now, if you're shopping for a used car, this is not going to apply. Those of you who are going to be leasing, when you lease, because you will lease at some point, either your child, your spouse, somebody in your house is not keeping their cars 8 years and they should be leasing. So when you're leasing or when you're buying brand new, this is what the dealer must have to provide a quote for you. Can we keep shooting the likes up on TikTok? I appreciate y'all. We see the likes in the top left already going crazy. Thank you so much. They must have zip code. They must have what we do for a living to see if there's any rebates we qualify for. They must have our title. So if you're an attorney, they want to know you're an attorney because there may be rebates you qualify for. What vehicles are in your household to see rebates you qualify for. See, the reason why y'all notice, who's ever tried to get quotes or tried to shop online and they saw, man, this is difficult, they're making it hard, or man, why am I not getting the information I need? Who's had that experience? Type H for hard if you have tried to shop and you have found shopping online to be hard to get your offers. Okay, I see y'all. Here's why. 2 reasons. 80% of dealers are overpriced. And what I want for you is I want the peace of mind of you seeing that. I want you being so good at shopping multiple offers that you're able to see what we know already. The people who have been using what I teach, using the stuff in my book, using the stuff in our video library, Cars from Home, we know 80% of dealers are absolutely going to try to overcharge you. And you're going to see that when you look at their offers while you sit at home or while you're at work. That's when you're going to see, wow, a lot of these deals are overpriced, but some aren't. Here's the key, y'all. I see everybody sharing. Appreciate y'all. This is the key. Some aren't. Some are going to beat their competition. And when you use these strategies, you want to make sure that you are absolutely that's the first reason. 80% of this is the reason why it may have been hard for you to shop online. 80% of dealers are going to make it hard. They're trying to make all the money they can. They're trying to make thousands upon thousands of dollars every car. They're not interested in beating their competition. They're interested in making sure they can make the most money possible each car. That's 80%. So now the 20%, the reason why it's hard for you to get offers from them is because we're not giving them everything that they need. In order to beat the competition, in order to make sure that you have a price quote that beats everybody else, the dealer must know what you do for a living, where you work at, any affiliations you have in terms of Costco, in terms of AAA, in terms of any affiliations. You never know when a particular brand is doing a rebate with a particular organization for that month. Remember I said earlier, the deals change month to month. So we need to know every single car in your household, and if you lease it or if you own it. Because again, there might be a loyalty rebate or there might be a conquest rebate. And then here's what we do when we contact. In my book, you're using all my contact. You're saying exactly what I would tell you to say. Thank you, Peyton. You're not making up your own. That's why I want you to get the book. It should, let me know. Somebody said it's still showing the normal price. Let me reset. It should be showing the 75% off price. If you're on Instagram, go to my Instagram bio. You're not going to leave the broadcast. If you're on TikTok, go to my TikTok bio. Let me know when you try to get your copy, if it's showing the 75% off price. And I'll try to reset it. So let me get back here. Okay. My wife is going in for a recall for her car today. She has 6 months left, 6 months left on the lease, and the sales department reached out and asked if she wants to look at a new lease. So who has dealers calling them, asking them to come in and saying, hey, we'll buy your car. We'll look at, we'll get you out of your car. We'll upgrade you. We'll try to keep your payment the same. Who has dealers calling, reaching out to them saying that? Type me if you're experiencing that right now, or if you have experienced that. Okay, Lynn has, I see you. What's up, JRP, watching in New Jersey? Great to see you. Okay, so Jan, so a lot of people, all right, look, a lot of people, all right, I see Kim Breeze. All right, so here's the reason, and here's what we must do. They want to tell us what our car is worth before we figure out what it's worth. The old days, you wanted more money than a dealer was going to pay you, you sold your car privately, right? We don't need to do that anymore. What we need to be doing is getting offers from the people that buy cars. And this is bidding. And it still goes back to bidding, y'all. Everything you're going to learn from me is going to be you learning to get bids on every part of your car deal, because that's what's going to give you price assurance. That's going to give you your price guarantee. So they want to look at your car and assess the car before you do. That's why we always must know what our car is worth, and we always must know if we have any equity and how much equity we have. And here's how we do it. We call our bank, or we call our leasing company if we're leasing, and we say, hey, how are you? I'm calling to get my payoff. Don't look on your contract. Don't get the residual value. Don't base it off that. You're calling to get your payoff. And then you're going to go on these websites that I always tell you about, CarMax.com, Driveway.com, Car Gurus, Sell My Car, AutoNation, Sell My Car, Carvana.com, and I believe that's, did I name all? And Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. This is going to get you about 6 offers on your car, and this is going to tell you what your car is really worth. These people don't lowball. They are very competitive. They know that they're fighting against each other to buy cars. And this is how you never want a dealer, or anybody for that matter, a customer, a buyer, you never want that person telling you what your vehicle is worth. You want multiple offers so that even if one person is playing games, this other person is ready to write the check. And that's the confidence you have when you're able to sit at home. What I just told y'all to do will take you about 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops. Now, now, for those of you, this is all in the book. If you don't want to remember this, if you want to try to remember it, be my guest. You want to watch the rebroadcast, you want to watch, when we syndicate these episodes, the information is going to be timeless. But if you truly want to have the information in one place, get your book, scan the QR code for 75% off, or go to DeshonesBook.com, or go to my TikTok or Instagram bios and get your 75% off. So let me reset it, because I did hear people say that they were trying to get on and they were still seeing the 75% price. Okay, so for those of you who are going to do that step that I just said, if you have a lease, it's very important that when they ask you, is the vehicle a lease, you say no. When you're on those websites, when they say, is the vehicle leased, owned, financed, you don't put lease, because when you put lease, it triggers something in their computer, because they don't know how to deal with third-party restrictions. And this came from the fact that 2 years ago, literally people were making, some of you may have, if you saw a video from me, or if you saw it from someone else, people were making $3,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 to $12,000 selling their leases. And then these companies, these banks didn't like that, and they started restricting who you could sell to. When you have a third-party restriction, it doesn't mean you cannot sell. It limits who you can sell to. So you need to know how to get around that. But when you're on those websites getting your values, if you're leasing, put no if they ask you if it's a lease. If you don't have a third-party restriction, you can sell to them directly. So when we call for our payoffs on our leases, we're always asking, do we have a third-party restriction? Yes or no is going to depend. The answer to that question is going to tell us who we can sell our lease to if we have equity. MV asks, do you have a hard copy of the book? I don't, and I'm going to tell you why. The book is really an action guide, and it's designed to warp you to various places that are relevant to you. So I'll get to a part in the book where I say, if you are going to be, keeping your car more than 8 years, click this. If you're going to be keeping your car less than 8 years, click this. And then it'll take you to the section where you're supposed to be. So that way, if you're purchasing, I don't want you reading anything about leasing. If you're, and vice versa. So that book is meant, if you're a high mileage driver, I don't want you reading things that don't apply to high mileage drivers. You need a specific strategy and path for high mileage drivers. And we couldn't do that with a print book. We could only do that with a digital book. We also have links to videos. So there's going to be certain parts where I say, hey, let me explain this to you. And then I say, click here if you want to see this in video form. All right. So if you want your copy at 75% off, just scan the QR code. It's only available for a couple minutes because it's part of our book launch, but I want to give everybody an opportunity to get it at a reduced price. Even though we've sold a lot of them at $97, even before it was out. So it's worth every penny. But all right, let's get back to the question. How do you go from owning to leasing? Oh, this is a great question. Should you do that? Vanetta asks, how do you go from owning to leasing? And we're going to rotate all through questions. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. We're going to be getting questions from everybody. And some of you are going to see that somebody literally is going to ask the same question you were going to ask. That's the beautiful thing about this community too. Like most of you, you're going to see have similar questions. So how do you go from owning to leasing? Should you do that? Absolutely. If you're not keeping your next car 8 years, and if you're not keeping the current car you're in 8 years. Some of you, who's in a car that they own, that they don't see themselves keeping it more than 8 years? If you are in a car that you own right now, and you are not planning to keep that car 8 years, let us know. Let me know here. Because you're exactly who Bonetta just asked this question about. Me, but only because I need more space now. Now that happens sometimes, Keisha. That's one of the reasons I explained that on another broadcast. One of the reasons people have negative equity is you switch cars and it's an emergency. That's understandable. We don't want that happening too much, but it's allowable. Okay, so I see Richard Hampton on Instagram. I see Key Cole. All right. Okay. So if you're in a car that you own and you're not keeping it 8 years, then you should be, unless one exception is if you buy inexpensive cars. Sometimes we buy $5,000 cars, $7,000 cars, inexpensive cars under $10,000 basically. But if you're buying like $18,000 and $25,000 pre-owned cars and new cars, then this absolutely applies to you. If you're not keeping your car 8 years, then you should be looking to transition out of that car into a lease because you're going to drive a better product for the money you're paying. Right now, when you look at what you're paying, you're not driving the most for your money because you bought a car and it's going down in value every day versus somebody like this young lady. Like this guy, Greg. If you're on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, you can see this. Look, this is a $56,000 vehicle, y'all. Look at this. He just got this Kia. You can see the date, February 9th, he picked it up. Look at the payment. It's $527 a month, y'all. You need to grasp that there are people who are driving this car now because they were taught never to lease, and they are paying a $56,000 car is an $1,100 a month car payment all day long. 56, we're not even talking about the taxes and fees. Let's assume that he got the $7,500 rebate. We're probably going to finance around $55,000. That is $1,100 a month, y'all. It doesn't surprise me when I see these videos where they're showing, the average car payment is over $1,000. Or look how many people have payments of $1,000 or more. Yeah, because you can't even get a $56,000 car without going over $1,000 unless you just put a ton of money down. But look at the lease deal that Greg got, $527. You think he cares about anybody who taught him that I shouldn't be leasing? Look at what I'm driving. Look at what I'm paying. Look at what I'm driving. And look at what other people are paying for the same vehicle that I'm driving. Other people, because they were told, I own my car. Yeah, you pulling up next to me at the traffic light, and we both in the same exact car. Oh, man, that's a nice car, man. Is that the same car? We got the same car. Yeah, yours is nice, man. I like that car. And if you don't mind me asking, man, this thing expensive, man. How much you paying for yours? Man, I don't want to, I got a pretty good deal on it, man. But how much you pay for yours? I'm paying like 1,100, man. Like, I love the truck, man, but this payment it's up there. Okay. Yeah, man, I'm actually paying 527. Wait, how? Wait, what? 527? How? Oh, yeah, I lease it. I lease it for 3 years, and then I go get something else. Oh, see, that's the difference, though. I own this. At the end of my 5 years, I got to pay on this for 5 years, but then it's gonna be mine. Oh, okay. And then what you gonna do? After I pay it off, I'll probably go get something else. This is what we do. I've seen this thousands of times, y'all. We just literally, y'all gotta see purchasing a car as running a race. Big reward at the end. You want to get to the reward stage. In my book, I talk about what the reward stage is. Paid off car, sitting in your driveway. You keep it until the wheels fall off. You pass it down to a family member. That's where you want to get to if you're buying. But if you're not a long-term person and you're not keeping cars that long, you should not be buying them. You're losing thousands compared to a person who is getting great lease deals. So that's why I say, somebody asks, Bonetta asks, should we go from a purchase owning to a lease? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you should be looking and saying, okay, what's the point of staying in this car right now when I can go and I can transition to something that will be better and that'll set me up for my long-term strategies? I'm good for 3 years and I'm driving a great car because all leases are brand new. All right, let me put the banner back up. And we will, oh, look, y'all, by the way, car shopping for people that hate car shopping. My book that we've been talking about the whole broadcast, we are rated 4.94 on goodreads.com. I appreciate everybody who's taken the time to rate the book, to review the book. We have 27 reviews. And the book hasn't even been out yet. It's not even officially out, but we're already at a 4.94. So I ask you, after you use it, I'm excited to hear your success story, but I also ask that you will review it. So just download your copy now. Go to deshonsbook.com, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. All right, let's get back to the questions. Oh, if you're on TikTok or Instagram, you can go to my bio and get your copy. All right, let me go to Instagram. All right, let's go to Instagram for our next question. Hold on. Let me put down this question. Okay, so I just closed out a Cars from Home lesson, and here you are live. What's so? Yes, we got a couple people in here in Cars from Home, which is my video library. Of course, I have everything in video form. I just want y'all to have the information. You could get it all for free all over my pages. Any type of video, used cars, leases, they're all over. Or you could get it in one place in the book. I just want y'all to have the information. Certified pre-owned. So, I'm about to tear your name up. I'm sorry. Charmel. Okay, Charmel on Instagram at certified pre-owned. So, very common concern is thinking, okay, if I'm shopping for a pre-owned car, let me get a certified pre-owned. How do we determine if the additional money that they charge for certified pre-owned is worth it? We got to know, y'all, you could get a great car even if it's not certified. In fact, when we're looking at a used car, these are the things that determine if we're getting a great used car right here. These things determine. First, the title history. We need to look at that title, which means we have to see the Carfax. Listen, watch this. I'm about to give y'all my strategy for getting, this is all in the book, but I'm going to give you my strategy for how we get free Carfaxes. Who's ready? Listen, If y'all want my strategy for how, and I'm going to give it to you, but I just want to build some anticipation. If you want my strategy for how we get free Carfaxes, I want you to type CF for Carfax. CF. You must see the title history of the car. Carfax is the most reputable, the most comprehensive history report. And I hate that they have a little bit of a monopoly on the market, but we can't do anything about it. Now, you also have AutoCheck, which is made by, it's an Experian product, but it's not, it doesn't give you the service records. So the first thing, watch this, y'all, we need to see the title, and we want to try to get Carfaxes for free. When we are on these marketplaces, Auto Trader, Cars.com, Car Gurus, Carfax.com, Driveway.com, everywhere there's cars, CarMax, Carvana, we use every single marketplace, y'all, because when you're not looking at the marketplaces, it's like you not looking at Walmart.com, you only shop from Amazon. Wait, why you not gonna check Walmart? No, I really want to do Amazon. You don't, well, what if there's a great deal on Walmart? So we must shop everywhere there are used cars. Now, when you're on these marketplaces, you're either gonna see free Carfax underneath the listing, or you're gonna say, or it's gonna say, click here to buy a Carfax. Before you do that, you wanna click on the link where it says, go to the dealer's website, because most dealers, many dealers, have a contract with Carfax. So what happens is they're allowed to pull an unlimited number of Carfaxes on their website within their dealership, but they are not able to put that on the marketplace because the marketplace is not their dealership. So what we do is we'll literally go to the dealer's website, and you will sometimes, at least half the time, you will see underneath the listing free Carfax on the dealer's site. That is how you get around paying for a Carfax most of the time. Now, once you have the Carfax, we are looking, this is all in the book, so you could try to remember this, or you could just get the book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can download your copy in my Instagram bio or my TikTok bio at 75% off. So you ain't even got to worry about remembering this. Or you could go to deshonsbook.com or scan the QR code on the screen. Up to you, but let's continue. So once we see the Carfax, we're looking at the title history. That's going to tell us, is this a frame damage car? Is this a salvage title car? Is this a rental vehicle? All the things we need to know for the quality of the title. Very important. Some people say, Deshone, what else? Should I buy a rental? Should I buy a car that was a rental? It shouldn't be on the top of the list. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be in the top of the list. Yes, GMS, of course, that is Lucille Ball. Did I? It shouldn't be on the top of the list. If I get down to my final choice of car, best price, best title history, best service records, and it's a rental car, maybe I'll consider, but it's not at the top. So this is the first thing we're doing. And this goes to, I'm answering the person's question who asked certified pre-owned. Do we need to buy certified pre-owned? We don't. If we are getting a car with a good title history, we now move on to the service records. This is the absolute most important thing on the title to make sure, or on the history report to see if this was a good car. Who's had a car that they bought used and the car broke down on them? Not quite a lemon. If you had a lemon, that's worse. You could put a picture of a lemon if you got the emojis. If you had a lemon, that sucks. I'm just talking about a straight up car that just broke down, like they didn't, transmission went out, head gaskets blew, like, whatever. So, okay, so many of you have experienced this. This sometimes could be avoided by checking the history to service records, because sometimes we're getting cars that are older cars and we don't know how the person beforehand took care of them. one of the biggest indicators is looking at those service reports. What you want to see on that Carfax, y'all, is multiple service records, oil changes, tire rotations, oil change, service, scheduled service, scheduled service, scheduled service. If you have seen a Carfax report like that, then the peace of mind you get is incredible. Because that is what tells you the owner took care of the car. So first thing is the title history. Second thing is the service records. Third thing is the accident report. Accident report. Some people are big on, Deshone, I'm not buying a car if it has an accident. That's fine. When you look at these cars, just know you're going to see multiple kinds of accidents. Shout out to the sharers. Thank you for everybody sharing. I see you. I appreciate you. If you have not shared the broadcast yet, I appreciate you sharing. If you want to help us spread this mission and get this information out, thank you for lighting up the likes on TikTok. I see y'all. Thank you so much. So when you are doing, when you look at accidents, they come in really two sizes, like serious accidents and minor accidents. Minor accidents are you backing out of a Walmart parking lot, and somebody taps you. Somebody taps you. Thanks, Daisy. You know, if you call the cops, that goes on the Carfax. Because anything reported to the insurance companies or anything where the cops are involved, it goes on the Carfax. So you need to be able to assess that. I'm not going to not buy a car because it had that type of an accident. That's a minor accident. Now you'll see sometimes on the Carfax it says severe. Here's the word you want to look for: vehicle drivable. Vehicle drivable. This is all in the book, by the way, for those of you who like Deshone. I love this live. I love this broadcast, but I'm not trying to remember all this. I'm just going to get the book, especially because it's 75% off in my TikTok bio and in my Instagram bio. Scan the QR code or go to deshonesbook.com and get your book. So when you're looking at accidents, if you see vehicle drivable, then that means the vehicle left the scene drivable. That's a good sign. If you see vehicle towed, not a good sign. I would pass on that car. Or just be aware that this vehicle was in an accident. It was so severe the vehicle had to be towed. If you see airbags deployed, that's a more serious sign. So again, I'm not going to tell you, just like with the rental cars, if I go buy a car, should you buy a rental? I'm not going to tell you you shouldn't. I'm going to tell you it shouldn't be high on your list, because it needs to end up being the best value. And it's just like that with a minor accident. Minor accident, I'm not going to run away from it, but it also needs to be less money than the other cars. So I'm not going to pay, you're not going to pay, and I'm not going to counsel you to pay the same price for a car that has a minor accident on it as you would pay for a vehicle that doesn't. But if you get those three things in order, those three things, I don't need a certified car. Those three things right there tell us whether the car is a good car, a lot more than them taking it through a certification process where they check, the components on the car and they try to restore them back to their new condition. Because if you could get a car that wasn't serviced and they certify it, it doesn't have those service records that we just talked about. I would place that car lower on the list. Lower on the list. All right. So that's how we judge. That's how we judge. What are your thoughts on Mach-E, lease or buy? APR 72 months. Jamal asks, what is my opinion on the Mach-E, lease or buy? So lease or buy is how long you're gonna keep the car. I want y'all to type. Listen, as you come in, type. Let me know how long on average how many years are you gonna keep your next car? Come on, let's light up the chat. Let's light up the chats. Everybody who's in the market for a car or will be soon, I want you to throw this out. How many years are you gonna keep your next car? Okay, Houston Sage said 14 to 15. Okay, Sony said 3. Okay, Bonetta said 5. Okay, It's World said 3. As you come in, let me know how many years do you plan on keeping your next car. Let's get an idea of what we're of our plan. 5 to 10. Okay, I see Connie said 10. Okay, I see Sunshine Valentine said 5 years. Okay, JC said 10. Okay, Jamal Jackson said I'm a keeper. Okay, you got Paul said 4. Okay, so Jamal, ask the question, buy or lease. If your answer to that question that I just asked you begins, if it's 8 or more, then you should be buying your next car. If it's 7 or less, then you should be leasing your next car. I know some of you may have been taught never lease a car. If that was you, type never. If you were taught never lease a car, I want you to type never, because we need to set you free from bad information that you've gotten for way too long. The good thing is I don't have to convince you emotionally. I can actually show you with numbers. Thank you, Dad. I appreciate it. Thank you to the people giving gifts on TikTok. Thank you to everybody sending stars. See, I'm not going to ever tell you you should be leasing based on an emotional decision. I'm going to tell you that I know the numbers. You cannot compare the 2 great lease deals that I just showed you guys on the screen, where one person is paying $527 a month for a $56,000 vehicle, and the young lady Taupe is paying $690 for 50 or something, $52,000 BMW. These are cars that would have had an $1,100 payment, that would have had an $1,000 payment. It's no comparison, because I want to give you all a quick lesson on depreciation. If I buy a car, somebody comes and gives you a car right now. I say, here, come outside, meet me outside. You come out, you say, Deshone, what is this? I say, here, this car is $30,000. It's yours. I park it outside. You say, Deshone, but I don't need a car. I can't use it. I said, listen, it's yours. No, but I can't drive it. Okay, well, listen, you do what you want to do with it. Donate it. Now, I come back and see you a year later. When I brought you the car, it was $30,000, right? That's how much it was. That's the value. That's how much it was worth. I come back and see you a year later. Is the car still worth? You didn't drive it. You never touched it. Deshone, I didn't drive it. I couldn't. How much is the car worth? Is it still worth $30,000? Remember, you own it. You didn't lease it. You own it. Thank you, Black. Thank you, JC. No, not even because of mileage, JC. There's no mileage. You didn't drive it. I want you. This is a lesson in depreciation, y'all. If you never forget that lesson, if you never forget that, that is what, because people will tell you you don't lease because you want to drive as much as you want to drive. Oh, I like to drive as much as I want to drive, so I don't want to lease. I don't want to pay for mileage. That's what people will say. But if you understand that your car loses value, which means you lose money every single day, whether you own it or lease it, now you're starting to see how you can understand leasing. Whether I buy my car or not, if my car's sitting out there for 2 days, it is worth less in 2 days than it's worth today. Might be $25 less. It doesn't matter. It's worth less, right? Whether I put them out. Now, if I go drive this car, let's just say today, I drive this car right now, 24 hours. I drive straight to Florida for 24 hours. I put, round trip, 2 days. I come back, put 3,000 miles on my car. Isn't it worth less in 2 days, right? Why? Because I just depreciated it more. And depreciation it controls my equity. It controls what my asset is worth. So stop believing people when they say things like a car isn't an investment. It might not be an investment you make money on, but if you were going to sell your car tonight, for $20,000, and daggone a tree falls on the car right now, is that car worth $20,000 tomorrow? Right? Now you'll see. It's reduced. So this is how we have to look at cars. We have to really realize that whether I buy that thing or whether I lease it, I am paying for what I use. Here's what we're doing when we're leasing, though. We're saying to ourselves, can I lease and pay less in depreciation over a 3-year period than if I purchased? Got bad news for a lot of people. They bought cars that ended up being on the worst depreciated car list in history. Cadillac Escalade was one of them at one point. It may not be there now, but a few years ago, Cadillac Escalade was on the top 10 greatest depreciating cars. What does that mean? That means you bought one for 90, in 3 years, it was worth 50. You lost $40,000 or more of value in 3 years. They were even saying it was really losing half of its value in 3 years. So if you purchase that truck, there's nothing you can do. This is what we're doing when we're leasing. In the short term, we're trying to hedge against depreciation. We're trying to say, if I get a great lease deal on this vehicle, I'm protected against depreciation, normal depreciation. You saw what Taupe is paying for her BMW. Had she bought that BMW, she would not have been able to pay that small amount of money over 3 years and protect against the normal depreciation of the vehicle. Now, had a person leased that Escalade, paid maybe $30,000, $35,000, maybe they paid $1,200 a month, maybe they paid $36,000 for the truck over a 3-year period. Maybe they paid, but they pay less than had they bought it. And the beautiful thing about a lease is, let's just say the vehicle doesn't lose value. Let's say it's on the top 10 list of vehicles that hold their value the most. We'll just sell it at the end and we'll cash out the equity. So leasing gives you an opportunity to protect against the depreciation of the vehicle. And if the vehicle doesn't depreciate, or if it holds its value better than normal cars, we can sell the lease at the end and put that money in our pocket. Beautiful. So you lease if you're not keeping your car 8 years, you purchase if you are keeping your next car 8 years. If you go with those rules, you're gonna win. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so this is priceless information. This is all in the book. If you just jumped on, this is all in my new book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. I break this down in steps, 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. This is a system. None of this is guesswork for me. This is a system, and I would like y'all to use it. So get your book, 75% off. Get yours in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio, or you could scan the QR code on the screen or go to deshonsbook.com while it's 75% off. Okay, so this is beautiful. Yeah, we still got hundreds of people on here, so let's just keep it going. I currently have a Kia Sorento. I'm trading it. It's way too much to deal with, even though it's paid off. That's fine, as long as you know whether you're leasing or buying your next car. Don't go, and when you say it's too much to deal with, are you saying that because it's having issues? If it's having issues, then we just make sure, y'all, before we get too happy about cars sometimes. We must go to Google. I'm going to show y'all something real quick. Let me share my screen. Let me show y'all. Hold on. Let me see if I can share my screen. All right, here we go. So this is what we do. This is how simple it is to do a reliability check on a car. And you take 3 minutes. You do this any car you want to look at, any car you're considering. You go right to Google, let's say I'm looking at a 2020, Nissan Altima. I'm going to type this in, 2020 Nissan Altima reliability. And then I'm going to look at the first couple articles. Now look at this. 2020 Nissan Altima. You got to put in the year that you're looking for. 2020 Nissan Altima predicted reliability score of 79. That's not great. That's not great. And here's the thing. Reliability is the first 3 years of the vehicle's life. You want to skim the first couple articles and see what they're saying about this car. You know how many people out here right now that are in the market for or are buying a 2020 Nissan Altima and don't realize that the reliability rating is a 79? And we're going to go deeper. After we do reliability, you now change that to longevity. Longevity. Look, now in terms of mileage and overall lifespan, you expect somewhere between 250 and 300,000, but you want to pay attention to the year. And look at this. It's on a dealer's website. You got to know where the information is coming from. We're looking for a third-party site. We're looking for a vehicle history. JD Power can be good sometimes. You want to skim these, and you want to just click on anything that alerts you. Anything that alerts you. Sometimes you'll see vehicles known for transmission issues, vehicles known for electrical issues, yada, yada. You must do this. And then for those of you who are buying a new car or leasing a new car, here's what you're going to type in. You're going to type, you don't need to do longevity if you're leasing. Doesn't matter. Longevity is 7, 8, 10 years down the road, what they're saying about the engine and all of that. But you want to do 2020 Maserati Ghibli. You want to type in initial quality. Initial quality is your first 90 days. And you want to skim that. That's when people get this car. What are they saying about this car in the first 90 days that they have it? That's initial quality. So if that car is in the shop, if that car is having issues, if the technology is difficult to use or understand, that's stuff that's going to show on these three things. So that's how you check, y'all, to protect these small things that I'm showing you. These things don't take time. It don't take a lot of time. It takes 5 minutes to check initial quality report, longevity reports, and reliability report. It takes 20 minutes to do an equity assessment to see which cash buyer is going to pay the most for your car, which cash buyer is going to pay the most for your lease. Can we keep running those likes up on TikTok? It's crazy how many likes we got. I appreciate it. Can y'all just keep tapping the screen as you come in? And shout out to the sharers. Appreciate everybody. That stuff. See, so it's not that you're not doing things that are costing you money because you just don't want to do them or because they take a lot of time. That's not the reason you haven't been doing these things. The reason is you haven't known to do these things. That's the difference. You haven't known to do these things. So what you're going to learn from me is all over my videos, I don't hold back any information. You see all over my videos, they're all for all the info. But the thing about the videos is they're for different people. Some of you, your next vehicle, you're going to lease it. Some of you, your next vehicle, you're going to purchase it. Some of you, your next vehicle, you're going to purchase it and you need a loan. Some of you, your next vehicle, you're going to purchase it and it's going to be pre-owned. So some of you, your next vehicle, you're a high mileage driver. If you're a high mileage driver, you drive more than 20,000 miles a year, type HM for high mileage. If you drive more than 20,000 miles per year, type HM for high mileage. Oh, let me go back to it. So all of you who are high mileage, I don't know why we get kicked out of Instagram. Okay. I think we got kicked out of Instagram. Let's see. Are we still? Okay. So if you're a high mileage driver, you'll see some videos in there for you. So the reason why I said I don't want y'all going through all the videos is because I know that those videos are for like 16 different types of people. And I don't want you getting confused saying, wow, is this for me? Oh, no, he's talking about leasing in this video. Oh, is this for me? Oh, no, this is for high mileage people. But when you get the book, get your book 75% off. Normal price is $97. You go get it for $24. You get it for 75% off, and you use it immediately. And you're going to see that there's a path just for you if you want all the information in one spot. So it's up to you. I'm always going to give all the information, but if you want it all in one spot, then go download your copy of Car Shopping for people that hate car shopping. All right, let's see. All right, we'll do a couple more before we jump. Let's go. Purchase by from dealership. You own the equity in that vehicle. Hold on, I'm trying to see which question. Initial quality. It's not the initial quality report. I just skimmed through the website. I skimmed through what the third-party website said. How do we get one-on-one consultation? I don't do one-on-one consultations. I do have a video version of my book called Cars from Home University. It's a visual library where instead of it being in text, instead of being written, it's in step-by-step videos. And then I have people that I work with in my coaching program who are in that, but I don't do one-on-one. Hold on. Let me know if y'all can still hear me. I get a lot better results coaching hundreds of people at one time. And I found like your situation is not special. That is really to say that I have worked with so many people. There's only about 16 different situations in car buying. So although you might think, oh, I got a special case, Deshone, I really need like a no, you don't. You don't. I have every path that anyone can need to get a car, no matter what their starting point is, and your situation is not special. I promise you. That's why I'm able to coach groups and lots of people at once, and they're able to get results because this is a lot of you are in the exact same situation as each other. Perfect. Do you need gap insurance on lease vehicles? Elrod, great question. Now most leases used to include gap insurance, but you never want to assume it because Chase a couple years ago when they were doing Mazda's leases, out of nowhere they just snatched the gap insurance from being included. I think it was Chase. So you want to make sure that whenever you are getting a lease offer, you are asking them to include gap insurance. They might say, "Oh, gap is already included." That's fine, but make sure because sometimes they'll actually try to tell you about it later, and you'll say, "Wow, and I thought it was included." No, they stopped including it, and now it's $250 or it's extra. It's an extra $18 a month. So make sure when you are getting your offers, you are always getting it with gap insurance. Whenever we send, like we do this by email. So those of you who are using the book, doing this by email allows you to keep everything organized. We don't use our personal email. But we always, when you send my template, it says on there, please make sure you include gap insurance. It also says, please only give us quotes with first month's payment out of pocket. No down payments, no, sometimes they don't listen and you got to rewrite them, but we have the scripts. So in my book are a bunch of scripts. So you don't have to figure out what you're going to say. I'm telling you what to say. But what you should be letting them know is to always include gap insurance in your lease quotes at all times, just in case it's not. Where can you find zero due at signing leases? There's no zero. You could get zero due at signing with any lease. The money you see in marketing commercials, those are not real. Those are just crafted, customized offers. They're not deals. None of those commercials that y'all see about leasing a car is a deal. Like these are great deals are not advertised. When you saw what Tote was paying for her car, you saw what Greg is paying for his vehicle. I'm going to show y'all, like, whenever you see somebody who's getting a deal, if I told them how to get a deal, that's not a deal that would ever be on a commercial. That's not a deal that would ever be even public. That's a deal probably one manager knew about and said, man, we ain't making no money on this. All right, go ahead. Let's go ahead and get the deal done. And he just reluctantly wanted to do it, didn't want to do it, but said, all right, let me do it. That's a deal. Everybody in the place ain't getting deals. They're just paying regular prices. And most of you, once you start getting bids the way I teach, once you step out of the old way of car shopping, you'll see that some of you weren't getting deals in the past. You were really just paying the regular prices. Okay, we need to guarantee we are getting deals, and we need to guarantee we are paying less than everyone. But when it comes to zero down, no problem. We get zero down. All of these people that you're gonna see as I share with you, there's not many people that have learned from me that have put money down on a lease. Sometimes if you can get the lease deal at the price you want with no money down, do it. But there is a place for down payments. We used to lease S classes out, and sometimes we get a crazy deal, and it'd be like $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month on an S class back then was ridiculous. It's $120,000 vehicle. So it was $1,200 a month was ridiculous. And then you'll look and say, what if I can't afford $1,200? Or what? Not even I can't afford it. I don't want my payment to be $1,200. So what I'll do is I'll put a couple thousand down. I'll bring my payment down to $999. I'll bring my payment down to $900, whatever. As long as I verify I got a deal first. What you're going to learn from me, those of you who have my book and those who are watching the videos, you will learn we never put a down payment down until after we've already confirmed we got a great deal. Once you confirm you got a great deal, that's when you can put down payments down to lower your payment. But down payment has nothing to do with your deal. It has nothing to do with if you got a deal. Oh, I got a deal, man. How you know? And I ain't have to put no money down. That's not a deal. I'm sorry to tell you. The deal is, I shot multiple dealers for this car. One dealer wanted to charge me this. One dealer wanted to charge me this. This dealer took off $3,000. This dealer took off $5,000. And then I went with this dealer that took off $6,000. He beat everybody. That's a deal. And that is what comes through bidding. That is what I want for everybody. That's the present of car shopping. If you're shopping any other way, you're shopping like caveman style. Not gonna lie, reflecting back on it, I'd rather get a home before my dream car. Nothing more to it. Listen, be wise. Treat buying cars like a small home, and you'll make a lot better decisions all times. Just got my book. Thank you, Coco, Coconut Fred. I appreciate it. Enjoy it. Use it. I can't wait to see your success story. It has everything in there you need to save money on all your car purchases. For you, your family, doesn't matter if you're purchasing, leasing, used car, new car, it's in there. High mileage driver, whatever situation you find yourself in, it's going to lead you through it. If I bought a car in 2000 and they just recently repossessed it, what can I do about that? You bought a car in 2000, maybe you meant 2020. If you've missed the opportunity to get it back, then it's gone. All you could do is try to rebuild from this point on, and rebuilding is going to be uncomfortable because there's really two reasons we lose cars besides an emergency, besides a hardship. A real hardship is my job loss, God forbid somebody passed away. That is a real hardship. But the two reasons why we're losing cars is because we buy over budget. That could be our fault, could be somebody else's fault who helped us do the deal, it could be both. And we're not getting quality cars. And sometimes that happens both. So if you bought a car and you knew my budget was 500 and dag, I'm paying 600. This 600 is tight. That could hurt you. If you bought a car and you're under your budget, but the car has problems, which means we didn't get a quality car. It is very important that we get the best car our money can buy. Because when we don't, we're here and we got a car we could afford, but the car is giving us problems. Now the whole plan is ruined. The whole plan, I was going to keep this car for a while. I wanted to just pay it off. You know how many people, some of you may have experienced it. Have you ever had a car that you was planning on keeping, you had no desire to change it, and then all of a sudden the car started messing up? If you understand that, that's the second reason why people lose cars acting up. So we got to get a quality car, and we have to buy a car below our budget. That is the key to not losing these cars, because sometimes they both hit you at once. You daggone in a car and it's having problems and it's over budget. That is the repo recipe. That's really, so all you can do if you're in a situation now is go to Shonda Martin, wherever you're at, follow her, and start rebuilding your credit. And whatever car you get should be an inexpensive car. If you are rebuilding your credit, you're going to pay more. If you need a car right now, you're going to pay more in interest. But if you go too crazy and you want to go out and drive a $20,000, $30,000 car, they're going to bury you, because you're coming in with a repo, desperate in need of a car, and they're going to sense that, and you can't control your financing like someone with good credit can. And you could get bids. When you got good credit, you could get bids from lenders. You could get bids from 10, 20, 30 lenders. That's what I'm going to show y'all how to do. That's what's in the book. You can't do that with bad credit. So you're limited. So if you're limited, the best thing for you to do is to go small, buy the least expensive car you could get a loan on to get yourself from point A to point B, $8,000 car, $10,000 car, small as you can, forget all the amenities, and get get the newest car, the best car you could get, and then you drive that for 2 years, you rebuild your credit, and then in 2 years you could go and get yourself a lease. You could go do what you want to do. But you need something. You need to rebuild your credit. And while you're rebuilding your credit, what should I be driving? It's time to sacrifice. This is not the time to go and pull the new SUV off the lot. Or, oh, you know what? I really need an SUV. I'm going to get this one, blah, blah, blah. This is not the time to do a deal where on that paperwork it says $20,000 or 25 or 30. This is not the time. This is the time where that paperwork should say $10,000 loan. You should be getting a Toyota Corolla, smallest car you could get. You pay for size, so you should be getting the smallest car you could get. So that I'm gonna just get me a 4 or 5 or 6-year-old car. Hopefully, I could get it for like 10 grand, because it was only 22 when it was new. It was only 22,000 when it was new, so it ain't gonna be 17,000 pre-owned. It's 17,000 pre-owned when it was 40, 50 grand new. No, we want a small car, point A to point B. This is your car to rebuild. And if you do that, you can set yourself up with a great foundation. If you don't, you can end up like a lot of people. Bad credit, go get me a nice car. I'm going to have a 22% interest rate. I'm overpaying for the car because they know I want it. So I'm not even getting a great price on the car. I'm getting banged out on the interest. And this is just a financial ruin. This is financial ruin. 2 years from now, I'm no closer to being able to get rebuilt. I got a high car payment. Again, it's a perpetual cycle of horrible financial decisions. So Dave said, get that SUV. You only live once. Just kidding. Absolutely, man. Yeah, Shonda is awesome. Anybody when it comes to credit, I send them to Shonda Martin. She's on any platform that you're watching on. Road to 750 plus. All right, so this is what we do, y'all. 75% off. Get your book. Enjoy it. Use it. Car shopping for people that hate car shopping. You can see here, if you didn't see earlier when I showed it, we are already rated 4.94 on Goodreads.com. We got 27 reviews. So if you have read it, if you have used it, if you're watching this, I would love for you to review it so that more people can find it. And it is a strategy guide. It is the strategy guide that you need to go and save thousands and thousands of dollars on any car you're going to be getting, and to have the warnings of what not to do. So you go to deshonebook.com or scan the QR code. John, how do I get the book? You could go to TikTok bio, Instagram bio, click the picture of me. You won't leave the broadcast, and just click the link and you'll see get book 75% off. Or you can scan the QR code, or you can go to deshonebook.com. Should I be afraid to pay cash for a new car? If you're not keeping it 8 years, absolutely. If you're keeping it more than 8 years, no, definitely not. Just make sure you get a lot of offers, because depending on if you're going to do it the manual way, I call it, When we do it, we use websites. If you're going to do it the manual way, then make sure you're getting one price from one dealer. Do not sit down and have a long conversation. You get one price, and then you're going to you're going to call five. You want to speak to at least 5 sales managers. You want to get at least 5 other offers. You have no idea how expensive and overpriced some dealers are until you start getting these offers. Some people are going to say, oh man, I'll do 42. And then some people are going to say, oh, I'll do 40. Some people are going to say, oh, I'll do 46. And you're going to be like, wow, why are these prices so different? Because some dealers, 80%, will try to take your head off. You have to sort and find the 20%. But yeah, if you're paying cash and you're shopping effectively and you're keeping the car 8+ years, good strategy. If you're not keeping it 8 years, you should be leasing. You're going to overpay. Bro, can you post a good lease deal on a car? I just showed it. If you're on, if you're not subscribed to YouTube, I would tell y'all go type Deshone the Auto Advisor and subscribe on YouTube, because that's where you're able to see different things. We got a different view on YouTube than we do on TikTok. So, all right, y'all. I think that's it. Well, we'll be back. We'll be back. This is the photo booth chick said, loving this info. I could hear your passion. Go ahead and take a bow and a drink. Thank you. I appreciate it. Listen, all I care about is making sure that when y'all post these car deals, y'all show me these car deals, y'all are like excited to show me. I don't care about your new car unless you're showing me the deal. Everybody that you'll follow and everybody who you'll see that post, oh, I got a new car, I'm excited. They're excited about the car. When y'all use this stuff that I'm showing you, you're going to be just as excited about the price you pay. That's why when you come into my group, this is a group that I have here. We share our numbers. That's where I won't share it right now. We share our numbers. And I want y'all understanding the numbers, seeing the offers, so that you can say, yo, not only did I get this car, look at the price. Look at the dealer who won the bid, how much lower they were than everybody else. Look at the bank that won the bid. Man, my bank wanted to give me this. My credit union wanted to give me this. But then I turned around and I let the dealer see if he could beat it. And he shopped his bank, and then he beat my credit union. See, bids allow you to sit and win without even trying, because all of these people are now working for you to win your business, versus you thinking, oh, I got to beg them to please sell me a car. Please give me a loan. Please do all this. No, you're the prize. All right. Yes, follow Shonda Martin, lovely loves. Shonda Martin is her name. All right. Do you think it's a dumb idea to buy an expensive car, whether you can afford it or not? If you can buy, it's a financially dumb idea to buy a vehicle if you're not keeping it 8 years, because you're going to overpay. If you could afford a luxury vehicle, of course, get it. And I think whether people want to buy it or lease it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with driving luxury vehicles if you can afford them. But you need to be able to afford them. You need to be able to afford the payment for them. You need to be able to afford the insurance for them. You need to be able to afford the maintenance for them. That is your oil changes, your brake fluid changes, your brake pad changes, and all your brakes and rotors. That's maintenance. And then you need to be able to afford when something goes wrong on the cars and you don't have a warranty. And that's where when I was at Mercedes, you have no idea how many times someone would come from the service department looking like they were almost in tears. And I'm like talking to them, and they're like, man, I just made my payment earlier this month. And then I had to come in, I had to get the brakes done. That cost me $2,000. Then I had to come in, and they telling me the navigation system, something with the computer. And I'm like, oh, the warranty's done? Yeah, the warranty's done. They said it's going to cost me $2,000 to fix the navigation. So I'm putting out $5,000. That is truly able to afford a luxury car. If you can't comfortably do that, you should not be buying a Bentley. You shouldn't be buying a Benz. If you're not ready for that, then you can lease it. And then you can lease it. Because that's what comes with long-term ownership. And if you're going to buy a Benz or BMW, Audi, any vehicle with high maintenance, and expensive parts, you can keep it long-term and win, but just realize there comes a point in time where there's no warranty, and anything that happens on the car, you're on the hook for it. So you better have cash. They're truly for people with cash. That's what they're for. That's what a luxury car is made for. And if that's not you, then there's nothing wrong with leasing these cars. If that's it. It's nothing wrong with leasing these cars. It's a great deal. Is it wise to purchase the extended warranty with a luxury vehicle? And in a lot of cases, it is. If you check and see that it's a car that has expensive maintenance, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of times it is. Because if I'm buying a car, whenever I had a customer back then when I was working at Mercedes, if they were buying a Mercedes and I had asked them how long they're keeping it, and they said, man, I'm keeping it I'm keeping it for the long run, man. 8, 10 years, 12 years, because they'll come in, they might have their old one with them. They might have one that they've already had for 12 years already, and they just swapping it out. So I say, listen, buy as much warranty as you can afford, because the key, what you want to try to do with a luxury car, that is a luxury car with high maintenance, is you want to try to get to the point where the car, by the time the warranty runs out, the car should be almost paid off. And if you if you buy a 4-year warranty, and then you have, and I wouldn't buy an old one, because an old one, you ain't gonna have no warranty. But people buy old ones to try to see, because the old one is 17,000. You get what I'm saying? The one with the warranty that has 2 years of warranty left, that's 34,000. And I ain't got 34, but I'm gonna get this one at 17. That means you can't afford the car. Because if you can't afford to buy a quality one, you can't afford the car. Very, very important with these luxury cars, that we truly recognize that if I'm gonna lease it, or if I'm going to buy one of these things, I'm keeping it, but I got to know what comes with that. And the best way to set myself up for success, the best way is to get a newer one that has some warranty left, 1 year, 2 years, buy additional warranty so that you leave out of there with at least 3 or 4 years of warranty. And now your loan might be 5 or 6 years. So hopefully you're only out there for a year or two with no warranty. But that's not what usually happens. A lot of people, they're leaving with 6-year loans right from the get-go. No warranty on the old one, 6-year loan. So now that thing's hitting. They got the car payment, they got the insurance, then stuff is breaking. They got the maintenance from day one. That's how they end up hating the car. If you ever hear anybody and they're like, never buy a Benz, they're trash, that's probably the route they went. The Red Noob said, you just answered my question. Perfect. All right, that's great. Well, listen, I will tap back in. We'll be back. And I will see y'all on the next broadcast. But this is what we do. Make sure you are following. So make sure you're subscribed so that when I'm live, you do get the notification and you could jump on. And we'll continue to keep answering your question. Thank you to everybody that got the book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It is officially launched. This is my official book launch, and I'll be doing these Q&As. You can get yours for 75% off. Download it immediately. You could be using it literally in 5 minutes. Just go to deshonsbook.com or scan the QR code on the screen. Or you can go to my Instagram bio, click the picture of me, go to my TikTok bio, click the picture of me, click that website link and click and hit the one that says get you 75% off. So use the book, enjoy it, win with it, and I'll see y'all on the next broadcast. God bless y'all. And then if you are shopping for a car now or in the next 12 months, I want you to type me in the comments. All right, so we know who we're talking to. And Instagram. All right, Instagram. I see Instagram log this out again because I switched from the screen. We're just getting used to this. But as you come in, if you are shopping for a car now or in the next 12 months, just type me. And I want to know, because I want to talk specifically to y'all. If you're shopping for a car, after that, that's fine. But I want to talk specifically to the people who are shopping now. Now, after you let us know if you're shopping, I want you to check in. Where we at today? Let me know where you are in the country. I like to do a roll call, check in. Where are we at in the country? Good to see you, Calvin. Good to see you, Catrella. Good to see you, Charlicia. Steeler Nation, St. Louis in the building. I see you. Okay. Hold on. Let me go here. TikTok. All right. Where y'all at? Let's. Okay. I see Dallas, Texas. I see Tampa. Hold on. I'm trying to see every Chicago, Illinois, VA Beach, Utica. I see you. Check in. Where we at today? Where we at this afternoon, evening, morning? Come on in. All right, we got the whole country on here. And we got the whole country on here. All right, I want to welcome y'all to Car Q&A with me, Deshone the Auto Advisor. As you come in, if you could spend a minute or two with us, 5, 10 minutes, an hour, you're gonna get a lot of value out of it. We're getting ready to do some rapid fire Q&A, and we're gonna be answering all types of questions about car shopping and what you need to know to make sure you're saving thousands on your next car and every car you get after that. So as you come in, if you're not subscribed, if you're not following, you will benefit from hitting that follow button. You will benefit from hitting the subscribe button, because we're going to be doing this live show pretty regularly to make sure that you guys have access to all the information. So before we get into Q&A, I want to give people time to come in. I also want to finish up the housekeeping. My new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, is now officially released. We are doing a 75% off sale. It's normally $97. It's a digital book. It has links to videos. It has links to my scripts. There's no guesswork in this, y'all. I want to give y'all a process that y'all can use for the rest of your life without having to worry about, I want y'all to be able to guarantee a success. So if you're on Instagram, you can go to the Instagram bio. You won't leave the broadcast. Get your 75% off, because it's only available for a few minutes at 75% off. TikTok bio, and then Facebook and Instagram. Y'all can go to deshonsbook.com, or you can scan the QR code. So let's go. Let's get your questions going. I want y'all to enjoy using that book. Get your 75% off and enjoy not reading it, enjoy using it. All right. So let me see. Let's start bringing in some comments. Where's our first question? Do I have to get financing? Oh, by the way, in a few minutes, y'all, I'm going to be giving y'all a very, very deep look into a game that's going to help you understand leasing versus buying. So in about 5-10 minutes, we'll start that game, and you're going to love it. You'll never be confused on whether leasing or purchasing is going to save you more money after we play this. Do I have to get financing to lease a car? No, you don't. Whenever we lease a car, we are always using the dealer's financing department, their company, the bank that makes the car. And because we can't shop for our own financing, how do we make sure that they're not marking up the interest rate on the lease? Multiple offers. There's no way for you to make sure they're not marking up the interest rate on the lease without multiple offers. That is what reveals the true deals when you're shopping for a lease. So there's no interest rate to shop for, but we must protect against interest rate markups with multiple offers, because some dealers will mark up the interest rate and never tell you. They'll just give you the quote, and they're depending on you not shopping their competition to find out that they marked up the interest rate on the lease. All right. So when you get your offers, it's always with multiple offers. Shout out to the sharers. Shout out to everybody who's sharing the broadcast. If this is your first time on a live with me here, just type 1. Type the number 1 if this is your first time on a live. I'm near the end of a 3-year lease. Is it best to buy the vehicle or lease another? It's very rarely best to buy. Very rarely. Shout out to the first time viewers. Good to see y'all. Very rarely, if ever, good to buy your lease. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because when you buy your lease, you're buying a used car. When you buy your lease, you are buying a used car. That's all that's happening. So, being that you are buying a used car, you need to know if would I normally buy a used car versus leasing. And the only way it makes sense to buy your lease out is if you're keeping the car another 8 years. I'm gonna tell you why. You've already had the car for 3 years. You've already had the car for 3 years. Most people, when you buy your lease out, you're getting another 5 or 6 year loan for the balance. So you're committing to 8 or 9 years of payments on the same car. This spills into bad lease deals the reason we don't take 48 months leases on a lease, because we're paying too long on a vehicle that we're giving back. We never want to be tied up long term in a vehicle we're giving back. That's the whole point. Leasing is meant to be 3 years, 39 months, sometimes 2 years, depending on what they're offering, in and out, switching cars very fast, always under warranty, keeping our payments low. Okay. Can y'all light up TikTok with the likes? Can y'all continue to tap the screen on TikTok? I see we got a few hundred people. We got about 400 people on total, all the broadcast. Could you actually hit that share button? Because I promise you, y'all, no one will ever get mad at you for sharing my page with them. I guarantee you that. In fact, my goal is to get them to thank you. Hey, thank you for sharing that. I like that guy's stuff. We try not to waste any time here. What about paying cash? VJ Live said, let me put this question up on the screen. If you're on, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube so y'all can see the whole thing, the presentation, when we share these numbers. We can't do that on Instagram and TikTok. So VJ Live said, what about paying cash? I have about 15,000 and I don't want payments, but they keep trying to push me to 25 grand range so I can have payments. Here's the thing. If you can find a quality car for 15 grand, great. If it's going to force you to buy something that's not, who's heard you always pay cash for a car? If, as you come in, thank you, Godhead. Shout out to the sharers. I see y'all. Who's heard always pay cash for a car? Type me in the comments. If you've heard always pay cash for a car, type me in the comments. I see y'all lighting up. Keep tapping the screen on TikTok. We appreciate it. Y'all lighting up the likes. Y'all can see where we at on the likes in the top left. Who's heard always pay cash? Right? 5150 times heard it. VJ Live said, heard it all my life. Now listen, bunch of Dave Ramsey advice. Now here's the real. Here's what I'm just telling y'all. We got a bunch of people on here, hundreds of you all say, yes, I've heard you pay cash for cars. Now there's two schools of thought here. One is no debt. Now if your philosophy is no debt, I'm not here to convince you to change your philosophy. Here's what I'm here to talk to you about. If your philosophy is I want to do what makes the most financial sense, then we'll have that conversation. Because people who could pay cash for cars and don't, they typically are making money on their money. When I was in the dealership, people would come in, they would ask, what are the interest rates this month? If the interest rates were 0%, something special like 0%, 1%, 2%, 3%, if they knew that they were getting 10, 15, 20% returns on their money, they're not going to put it in a car. They're going to use the bank's money at 1, 2, 3%, and they're going to use their money to keep making 10, 12, 15, 20%. That's the philosophy. So they view that as, I'll pay 3%. They view it more as a business transaction than as a leveraging money to make more money. See, some people will tell y'all people who don't pay cash for cars, they're into debt. But I'm here to tell you that when I sat with very, very savvy people in my career with Mercedes and General Motors, I had tons of people who could easily have wrote a check for the car. I want you to know that if your goals are to eventually get into making more money with your money, investing your money, getting 10%, 12%, 8%, trying to beat inflation, then you're going to have a problem putting your cash into cars. Because not only, if let's say we park right now, this is just as answering VJ Live's question, because I got it up on the screen here on YouTube and Facebook. He's asking about paying cars. And many of you, as you sit on the show, you'll see, Dad, that's a similar question. Many of you will see someone's going to ask the same question you have. When we start seeing that we can actually use the bank's money for less, we're gonna realize that when you put $20,000 of your hard-earned cash into a car, that money cannot make you more money. That $20,000 that you just put in the car cannot make you more money. You have maxed out the value of that $20,000. It's in a car, you can't pull it out. You could refinance, but that's not happening. You're going to refinance and just get another loan. The point is your money's in that car now. So had you had an opportunity to invest that 20 and make 8%, 10%, 6%, 12%, that's what the people who don't pay cash for cars who are wise are doing. I'm not telling you there's a difference. Look, I talk a lot about budgeting. I talk a lot about affordability. All through my book, I have systems and boundaries. The rule of 72 and the 10th birthday, how long of a loan you take, how much, when should the car be paid off? That's all in my book. You can get it 75% off, or you can watch my videos. I'm going to always teach it. But if you want it all in one place right here, get the book 75% off. It's in my TikTok or Instagram bio. But that's what we got to know. We got to know if we're going to use leverage and use the bank's money, there are extremes of leverage. There is over leverage. And we cannot be over leveraged. That means we're taking a loan that's too much, too long, we just want to borrow to try to afford a car. And you see this a lot with older cars, people buying luxury cars that they really can't afford because, brand new, the car is 80 grand. But if they get a 10-year-old one and they get a 5-year loan, now they're in a 2013 AMG Mercedes with 90,000 miles on it. So that's the opposite extreme. Using leverage and loans to buy things we can't afford. But then the other opposite extreme is paying cash when we don't have to. Finding that balance between getting the car we want, getting the best car we can afford. Because you said, hey, I'm trying to find a car for 15 grand. I can't find it. They want me to spend 20, 25. Well, the name of the game is you better learn how to find if there's any cars out there for 15, you better learn how to find them. And you look everywhere, you look over all the marketplaces, and before you raise your budget up to 2025, we have something we do called the perfect budget. You got to go to 17 first. You don't go from 15 to 2025. You go from 15 to 17. See if I can find anything good for 17. Oh, I can't. All right, now I go to 19. And I have this calculator that's going to help you guys inside the book. It's called the Perfect Budget Calculator. You put in the money you have, you put in what you want your payment to be. It's going to tell you how much car you can buy. You put in your state, so we could have. How many times y'all walk in, right? And you're like, man, I want to spend 25 grand on a car, but you forgot to factor in taxes and the fees. How many times does that happen? Type ouch if you've ever dealt with that. Let's be willing to be honest. You had a budget in your mind. This is what I want my monthly payment to be. This is what I want to spend on the car. Next thing you know, you're a little over that budget, or sometimes a lot over that budget, and you're leaving like, all right, I see you, 919 Mike. Thank you. I see you, Mika Larkin. Shout out to everybody willing to be honest. See, in order for us to really make sure we don't make these mistakes, we got to be honest of the fact we've made them. So that's what we want to do. We want a budgeting system that tells us when we can. You spend any more than this, and you're going to be over your budget. You said you want a payment of $400 a month. That means you said you only got $1,000 to put down, or nothing to put down, or here's what you can spend on a car. And when you use this perfect budget calculator, you're going to never go over budget. Because honestly, y'all, we don't want to be anywhere near our top of our budget. We want to be shopping under our budget. That's where I want y'all, under your budget. That's why I said if your budget was 15 and then your max might be 2025 with a loan, all right, we got to go from 15 to 17 to 17.5 to 18. We don't just jump to 2025. But we need a methodical system to do that, to help us do that. How do I get out of an upside down lease? Jose, you can only sell out of it. That's all you could do. You could sell out of it. No matter what, y'all, who's in a car that they want to replace and they think they're upside down? They may have some negative equity. This is all in the book. I would really like y'all, the reason why I'm doing the 75% off, couple reasons. The book just officially came out. But I really want y'all not having to remember this. Yes, this live rebroadcast is going to be syndicated. So no matter when you're watching it, the information is going to be valuable and applicable. But I really want y'all to have the book so that you can actually reference the information over and over again. Thank you, B-Bad. Thank you for this info. Thank you, SJF Racing. So, all right. Yes, 25 goes to 30 real fast. Let me show y'all something, and then we'll continue. This is where we are right now on Goodreads.com. We're rated 4.94. We've already received 27 reviews, 31 ratings, and the book hasn't been out yet. So if you go to goodreads.com, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, you can see what I'm posting. But I'm sharing the fact we're already rated 4.94, 31 ratings, and the book hasn't come out yet. So now that it's officially out, I really want y'all to have it. And so make sure you take advantage. Get your 75% off. It's normally $97, but while you're watching here, it's 75% off. Everything I teach is in there in one place, so you don't have to remember it. All right. If you have let's talk to the people who are in an upside down lease or upside down loan. First of all, we don't want to be there. I'm gonna tell y'all why. If you're in an upside down lease, that means you didn't pick your mileage correctly. That means something happened, because with a lease, you have to have predictable miles. You have to know how much you're going to drive roundabout. You got to be able to guesstimate. That's why if you're running a Turo business, when you're trying to rent the car out for, 40,000 miles a year, or you don't know how much it's going to be on that car. Could be 20, could be 40. A lease is not good because you can't predict the mileage. But in normal life, we can predict our mileage very closely. Now, when things happen, let's say you were working at home, and now all of a sudden you are, you're not working from home anymore. Now you got to drive into the office to 20 miles away. Well, that's a lifestyle change. That can lead to you racking up mileage penalties. But here's what we don't want to do. You don't want to buy that car, y'all. I'm gonna tell you why. Every time you lease, you have a price that you can buy the car for. Most times it ain't worth that. Yes, in the last couple of years, we saw a couple cases where, the buyout prices were good. Before the pandemic, the buyout prices usually were nowhere near what you could get a comparable used car for. So if your car was 3 years old with 36,000 miles on it, the prices they were putting was to make you not buy the car, was to make you send it back to them so that they can handle it and resell it. So if the price wasn't worth it to begin with 36,000 miles, I've seen people, you go over your miles and you're like, I'm over the miles, I'm just going to buy it. The price wasn't worth it with good mileage. The price wasn't worth, if you had 36,000 miles, that car wasn't worth you buying for the buyout price. You actually have 48,000 miles and they want you to pay the same price for it. So it's important that if we have to deal with penalties because we didn't structure the lease correctly, or because we didn't quite know what we were going to be driving, or we had a lifestyle change, taking the penalty and applying it over to our next deal is always, not always, but in most cases, going to be less money than us buying an overpriced car with high mileage now. We cannot just keep buying our leases without doing a market check. So when you asked about how do I get out of a lease with negative equity, all you can do is find out what the penalty is,